Hey, what's up? This is ChoseN. Wake up, it is patch day. We've got a lot to cover in this video. We will quickly wrap up and show you what is actually live in game for patch 5.10. You probably already know a lot of it from things that have been teased recently, but we'll give you a quick recap of exactly what is going on in game. We have also got a 10x event coming up for this weekend as expected, so we'll quickly go over the champions in there and give you my thoughts on the 10x. And then we've also got a guaranteed summon event for shards that we will cover and go over that champion as well, let you know if it makes sense for you to pull for that champion or not. So we will get you all caught up as we head into the end of the week. Let's get into it. Alrighty, so first of all, let's go ahead and quickly wrap up the patch notes here, and then I'll show you what this stuff looks like in game as well. So the update brings the new faction crypt. We're going to be getting the Shadowkin as part of the next rotation, so we can finally find out what boss is going on there, and it's going to change the requirements to get Lydia the Death Siren as well. And then the big part of this update is going to be the reworking artifacts. And the main point here is the new item coming to raid, the Chaos Ore. There's going to be 4 different Chaos Ores. There's going to be one for 5-star and 6-star, and then both rarities of Epic and Legendary. So you're not going to be able to rework rare items. It's just going to be for 5 and 6-star Epics and Legendaries. So 4 different kinds of Chaos Ore. And they clarify a little bit right here by saying the rarity, level, and rank of any piece of gear will remain the same after being reworked, along with whichever substats, the first, second, third, or fourth position substats, have been upgraded along the way, and the number of upgrades those substats received. However, all stats improved by glyphs will be lost after the rework. So it's kind of like a full reset there on the item, and you're able to get Chaos Ore from tournaments and events, as well as limited offers in the shop to go ahead and rework some of those artifacts that you want to give another role. There is also a new filter for gear, which I really like. I'll show you that in game here in a little bit. We talked about Shadowkin coming in the next rotation of the faction wars, and then obviously Lydia going to be changing to 882 stars instead of 819 because of all the stars that 3-starring the Shadowkin crypt is going to add to that requirement. And then we did a discussion about the rebalance changes. It's mostly around enemy max HP stuff, so very underwhelming in terms of rebalance. What we were hoping to get like a 15-20 champion list of like buffing things and making more champions useful in raid, but this was more of like a random little enemy max HP adjustment for like 3 champions than it was a rebalance. The only like technical rebalance we got was the cooldown reduction on Skull Orb, which is good, but not like super game changing. And then Blood Gorged got 8 more speed, going up from 90 to 98. And then under the miscellaneous section, the most important thing to take note of is now you can buy 100 more slots in your champion vault, and we will go over that in game as well. So now let's show these in game quickly. So this is going to be the change to faction wars and the rewards down here. You can see that Lydia has moved over to 882 stars required. It was 819 back when I got her, and you can see the box is already checked because I have attained Lydia. So these are going to be the rewards that are added in between that 819 and 882. You got the 400 energy right here, 25 rank charms, a void shard, 500k silver, and an epic tome added in that slot in between where Lydia was moved over. So that's going to be what you get on top of clearing the 3-star content for the new Shadowkin crypt that we don't see yet, but in the next rotation of the you can see it's going to be one of these over here. It'll unlock like within the next week or so. In the next rotation of the faction wars, we'll see Shadowkin, and we can finally dive in, start clearing that content. And what we really need to know is what boss it's going to be, because that is a massive determining factor and how hard that content is going to be to 3-star. And we also got to talk about the Chaos Ore re-rolling, obviously. And Plarium did send us a goodie bag right here that you have a week to claim. It's going to be one of each of the 6-star Chaos Ores, and then a day of XP, some multi-battles, some energy, and some silver. So we will take that for sure. And now we can go and show you Chaos Ore. One thing worth noting that confused me for a few seconds was when you claim that from the shop, it actually goes to your inbox. It does not go straight to your storage. So you're going to want to go in here and claim this stuff right here so you can have the Chaos Ore added to your account and then be able to dive into some artifact adjusting on the one of your choice. Okay, so the way that Chaos Ore is going to work, let me go ahead and remove myself from the screen so you can see everything that I'm doing. So you're going to go into your artifacts, and then you're going to find a piece that you want to upgrade. Now, typically, bottom pieces are a little bit more rare and a little bit tougher to acquire good ones on your account. So you might find one that you like, but it just didn't in a good set. But it didn't like, so this is a speed chest here that didn't roll speed, but it's got it's a 6-star epic with a triple roll, so pretty handy there. This is not a bad candidate to try and rework with some of the Chaos Ore. So when you go into that tab, it will pop up there. It will show you the Chaos Ore after you click the rework over here on the right side, and then you can select the now you can use the legendary one on an epic piece, but definitely don't do that. It's the same as books. Don't use legendary books on an epic champion. Don't use legendary Chaos Ore on an epic piece. So make sure you click on the epic one for an epic item. And then when we go ahead and we do the rework, you can see here that it's going to make sure you want to confirm, because it's going to reset any glyphs that you have used or anything like that. So we'll go ahead and we will pop that, and then we get a new piece. And see how it kept the triple roll, so it's not gonna reset the rolls that you had on the item, but we did get speed, but unfortunately it went flat HP. So a good example here how you can really hurt yourself. You gotta be careful using it on bottom pieces, even though the upside is a lot higher on the bottom because those pieces are more rare. You can actually screw yourself over by getting a trash main stat. See, this used to be a chest that was a 6-star defense percent chest with a triple roll of HP. So it didn't have speed, so it wasn't a god to your piece, but we did make the piece worse by re-rolling it, because now it's completely useless. It didn't hit speed, and it's a flat HP chest, so this is something that I would sell, whereas before, I probably could have at least used it a little bit. It just wasn't ideal. I could have used it in like a secret room or something, because it was a speed set, 6-star defense chest with a triple roll of HP, but we kind of screwed ourselves over by re-rolling it. So something to take note of there. You can really ruin main stats, which means the upside's higher on bottom pieces, but you have a more likelihood of getting a really usable piece if you use it on top gear. So you're really gonna have to weigh your options there on where you want to use your Chaos Ore, depending on the set and depending on the item you're trying to go for. But there's also some new filter options over here in the when you click on gear, and you can go into your filter page up here up top, and then down here they've got rank and rarity. So this is awesome that they've added this. Just like an ability to select all. Let's say you want to do all 5-star rare and below, so I can really go through the worst pieces on my account and see which ones to kind of get rid of. Now I've got all of the 5-star rare and below pieces that I am keeping currently, so I could kind of go through and be like, okay, I can probably get rid of these ones here. So just another way to kind of help you sort through your artifacts and get things cleaned up on your account. Definitely much needed for more filters. I hope we get like specific stat filters at some point, like show me every piece that's over 10 speed, or show me every piece that doesn't have speed, because right now you can show every piece that does have speed, but you can't kind of filter it more specifically in terms of what the stat rolled and stuff. So hopefully that comes at some point, but this is definitely a welcome change, and it's going to be fun to be able to go through and sort your artifacts according to the rank and rarity. And obviously in the champion vault, now we can go from 300 up to 400 via purchasing the slots. And you can see this is what it costs right out the gate to go from 300 to 310. And I actually have a full chart for you right here, kind of showing the full upgrade process, because I charted this last time when they increased the champion storage from 300 to 400. Now they're doing the exact same thing with the vault storage, increasing from 300 to 400, so we can use that exact same chart that we used the previous time, because you can see here that the cost of going from 300 to 310 is 13.75 and 495 for the gems, which if we go up top there, 13.75 and 495 for the gems. It's the exact same price whether you're purchasing it in the main champion storage or the vault. So this is going to be a full chart. I'll leave this here for a second if you want to screenshot this or whatever. I'll leave it up for a few seconds to give you that opportunity, but this is going to be the layout of the full cost of going from 300 to 400 in your champion vault. And then the full totals is going to be 171 million silver to buy it all that way, or 6,075 gems. And then up on the top right, comparing that versus US dollar value if you were to purchase them as offers or whatnot in the shop, based on what you can kind of typically expect to spend. So basically, the too long didn't watch version would be, if you are super rich on silver, if you're end game and you've got like 500 million silver, not a bad idea to go ahead and just do it with the silver, because gems are going to be a more sparse resource than silver for you probably. But if you're kind of in the mid game and you're still really progressing your account, and silver is always super broke for you, but you spend a decent amount of money, maybe you have gems, you buy the monthly pack and stuff like that, then it could maybe make sense to spend gems. So it really depends on your account and where you kind of stand in terms of your resources. But this is the chart in case you want the breakdown of how I feel about it and how much the totals of the costs are going to be. Okay, so hang in there with me. We've still got more to cover. I'll try to get through it quickly for you. We've also got a 10X going on this weekend, and the champions are going to be that new Void Lego Chogger, and then Calvalax, Zavia, Richtof, with the epics being Urigrim, Venomage, Steel Skull, and Anax. So let's really quickly go through each champion, and I'll give you a quick synopsis on them. Chogger is going to be the featured Void Legendary of this account, and he's super cool. I actually did a dedicated video on him. I'll try to remember to link right there for you, where I show all of his abilities and test him and stuff like that. I think he's a fun champion. He kind of does some poisons, and he's got a cool passive that instantly attacks people with his default whenever they receive damage from poisons that he placed, and also when hitting enemies under poison, he's going to heal himself for 10%, which he's always got poisons on the field, so he's kind of got a built-in lifesteal set a little bit, got a really good base attack, can really crank out damage, can lower defense, multi-hitters. So yeah, he's a really cool damage dealer for a Void Legendary for sure. Then for the non-Void Legos, we've got Calvalax as the first one, and Calvalax was a fan art competition where Plarium allowed fans to design champions, and then the best one would be implemented to the game. I don't want to get it wrong, but I think it was like David Fitzsimmons or something who designed this. I'm sorry if I butchered the name and got that wrong, but I tried my best to remember off the top of my head. But anyway, this was the design that won for the fan art competition, and it's super amazing. I love this champion. It definitely matches the Knight Revenant theme and looks super amazing, especially given the fact that you've got all the poison in the kit here. And I think they did a good job with it. The aesthetics are amazing, and then Calvalax in game is also a really good poisoner and a really good champ for sure. And then Zavia also in this, kind of holding true to the poison theme of this 10X. And Zavia was kind of pseudo nerfed a little bit by the changes they did to the dungeon levels 24 through 25, where they have a maximum detonation enemy max HP damage that you can do in one chunk to the bosses, but all the way up until dungeon levels 20, Zavia is incredible for blowing up poisons, detonating things as a speed farmer. She was certainly meta for a long time until those dungeons got changed to more of an HP burn, kind of slower type build, but Zavia still definitely has a cool role in the game, and the main staple of hers is the deadly catalyst that attacks all enemies and detonates poisons. And then the last legendary is going to be Richtof the Bold, who doesn't see a whole lot of play, but he can be cool in the right team. You can see here, you can place a bunch of poisons and pair with Zavia. You have him go first, place a bunch of poisons. You have Zavia come from behind, attack all enemies, and blow up the poisons that Richtof plays. He's also got an AoE A1, which is always fun. I think you could use a little bit of love to bring him up as a little bit of a better, more worthy legendary, but he can definitely be cool in the right situation, mainly because of the A2 here. Then for the epics, the Void epic in this event is going to be Urigrim, who is definitely a top 20 epic or so. He was a top 5 epic and then got nerfed because he was crazy. But now he's still a very solid champion, still amazing in Faction Wars. He's kind of like a budget battle Khazar, so he's got a bunch of poisons and continuous heals, but he's also got a speed aura of 20% in all battles. So an amazing speed aura for an epic champion. Pretty cool base stats here. Just a very solid epic champion to add to your roster. And if you haven't finished Faction Wars yet for Ogre and Tribes, he's amazing there. Then Venomage for Lizard. He's a cool champ. He's got an interesting kit, lots of heal reduction, poisons, a passive that makes people under heal reduction inflict less damage. So yeah, he's got some defense break, some decreased attack. He's definitely got a well-versed kit and could definitely make sense in the right team built around utilizing him. The third epic is going to be Steel Skull, who is an amazing champion to have in your Skin Wars or your Skinwalkers Faction Wars team. And he used to be kind of one of the best epics in the game. He's been power creeped a little bit the last couple of years, so he's kind of fallen down the ladder in terms of the ranks for epics. He was a top 25 epic. Now he's probably a top 50 epic, but still very solid, and there's nothing wrong with Steel Skull as a champion. He will probably be in your Skinwalkers Faction Wars team. And the last champion in this 10X is going to be Anax, who has got an A1 that can break defense, which is always good. And he can also do decreased accuracy, poison, weaken, just a lot of general utility. He's got a passive that works around his HP and does different things as well. So yeah, he could be a fun epic. He's going to be tough to get maybe consistent value out of, but you'd have to build kind of the right team around utilizing what he brings to the table. And a lot of his stuff is single target, which can be a little bit rough. He doesn't have any AoE. So yeah, that is the 10X. You're going to have Chogger, Kalvalak, Zavia, and Richtof as the legendaries, and then Uragrim, Venomage, Steel Skull, and Anax as the epics. Now, you know the drill for how I feel about 10X events. I think it's the best opportunity to go for certain epics you want to collect. So if you don't have Uragrim, not a bad opportunity to maybe pull some Void Shards and maybe YOLO a couple epics, because 10Xs are way more impactful on Void Shards than they are for non-Void Shards. But I don't see like a Siphi or a Duchess or something like that in this event. So for 90-something% of you, I would say the route to go is holding onto your shards until a 2X event to get more consistent value over the long-term health of your account and pulling your shards. And during these events being live, there is also going to be a guaranteed summon event for Godseeker Aniri, the Void epic from the Sacred Order. Now, this is going to be a 25 shard. Let me make sure here. We'll put, yeah, 25th Void shard. So, okay, not a bad opportunity to go for both Uragrim and Godseeker. They're both really solid epics. Now, for Godseeker, you got an A1 that's going to be healing the ally with the lowest HP by 5% of their max, which can't heal her, which is fine for an epic's A1. We got an AoE that's going to heal all allies by their max HP, then decrease the duration of all buffs on all enemies by 1 turn, and increase the duration of buffs on all allies by 1 turn. So this can be super cool as not only a buff lower for enemies, but a buff extender for allies. That's an amazing ability for an epic. And then on the A3, you also have a revive that you can book to a 4-turn cooldown. Amazing there. And a passive that increases the amount of all allies receiving by 10%. So gonna boost up your other healers. And then if an ally is about to get killed by a fatal hit, preemptively place a revive on death. So revive on death is a tough buff to get consistent value out of, but not if you preemptively place it before a fatal hit. So obviously Godseeker does some really fun and cool, interesting things as part of her kit here as an epic champion. So this event and this weekend is going to be a good opportunity to get your hands on a couple of really strong epics in Uragrim and Godseeker. Uragrim being the Void epic featured in the 10X, and then Godseeker you're going to be guaranteed to get as your 25th Void shard pulled if you're pulling Voids during this weekend's events. So, all right, that was a lot to get through. So now we're going to kind of wrap up what's going on in game right now. And so, first of all, for CVC, we're probably going to be getting one in about 4 days. It's Thursday right now. We had an off week this week. So if Plarium goes by the normal rotation here on Tuesday, leading into next week, we should be getting a new clan vs. clan. So plan your books and stuff according to that. And then also we're going to be having the fusion. Well, it's technically a fragment. We call them fusions, but we're going to have a fragment legendary event, the first one of 2022, starting on Monday. The community consensus for that champion is a C+ about. So pretty meh, could use some love, but definitely worth going for those fragment events as long as you've got the resources available to be able to realistically go for it. And then if we pull up the tournaments tab, we will see here that we have got an Ice Golem tournament live right now. This is a pretty normal Ice Golem tournament, not a whole lot to talk about other than sometimes these are a good opportunity to go after Relentless Gear if you're in a group where no one's really trying. And then a tag team arena tournament starting tomorrow. And then if we go under the events tab, this is where we can find a countdown for when this weekend's summoning events are going to launch. You can see right here the Summon Rush countdown is going to be when that 10x and stuff is going to start launching. And you also want to make sure you're doing your Fusion warm-up event every day. You can earn 15 points a day, and you're going to earn those by upgrading artifacts. So you're going to want to definitely do this, because this is an opportunity to get some really cheap and accessible resources in game by basically just kind of being active and doing what it says. These are very easy to acquire. It doesn't take a whole lot of effort. You can see here we only need 15 points a day, and if you do one 5-star artifact to level 12, boom, you've got it. You could even do a 4-star, but the best route to go, the cheapest route in terms of being realistic for utility on your account, is probably upgrade a 5-star artifact to level 12. Do that once a day for the next few days, and you'll be all set, and you'll get the 60 points and get these resources here. Then we can fire up the offers and go over the shop real quick, see if there's anything worth going on. Okay, so we've got a pretty general utility one here. We were going to go 750k silver, energy of 300, gems of 200, XP days of 2, energy refills of 5, and then 3 legendary tomes of, boom, a 2.15. So not a bad offer. It's not amazing. It's just kind of a decent middling offer there. The monthly pack grades out as about a 2.5, mini mix, pack string. I think this one graded out as about a 1.85 if I remember right. But if anybody bought the whole string, feel free to let us know. But decent for high spenders, but not really a great offer. And then $25 for epic cruel gear is not an amazing offer in my opinion. So the best thing I'm seeing besides kind of the daily stuff is going to be this dungeon pack right here, but it's nothing super incredible to make note of. So that is going to do it for this video. If you hung in until now, thank you for watching the whole thing, and hopefully we were able to wrap things up for you in a quick fashion and keep you up to date on what is going on here in Raid. I'm going to head on over to stream. If you're watching this right away, you're welcome to come say hi. I'll be live for the next few hours, hanging out with you, playing some Raid, and talking about all this stuff going on in game right now. So I hope to see you there, but if not, have a great end of your week. And as always, thank you for watching. Peace.